everyone, Rich Nance here with your defensive tactics technique of the week. Today we're going to be looking at bludgeon defense. Frank, as a martial artist, I learned all kinds of defenses against someone swinging a club at you. But sort of like edge weapon defense, a lot of them were not the most realistic. Let me see if I can recall one of them. Give me one of these overhead swings. It was something like this, and as you come down, you hit the guy here with this, come out, and then you break his arm here.
Yeah, that's going to happen on the street.
I've never seen that on a dash cam video, but
no.
It does look kind of cool, and some people that see that may think, wow, that instructor's so skilled. If I was only that skilled, I could do that. I doubt it. Not for real. The thing is with a club or anything, just like an edge weapon can be a myriad of different tools, so can a bludgeon, or in this, even if you call it a club, it's not a club, obviously, it's a
pipe wrench.
Pipe wrench. And this is a fake pipe wrench. So when this is swung, there's basically a couple things to keep in mind. Actually, there's one thing to keep in mind. Don't be here. Extend that. You don't want to be in the sweet spot of this thing. How is this thing going to be swung? I can't tell you exactly. I think it would be awkward to swing completely overhead.
Yeah, nobody swings like that. Everybody swings on that probably 45.
There you go.
Where it's natural for us to come in over unless they are avid baseball fans and they're swinging from the side.
Exactly. And we'll show some of that when we talk about some ASP techniques and stuff, but that is a natural type swinging motion, is to come here just like you said at like a 45-degree angle. So where I don't want to be is the sweet spot of that. You know when you're playing baseball and you hit it just right and it just feels good on the bat, and maybe you get a long out or a short out, whatever, but it feels good when you hit it. That's the sweet spot. You know, when you hit it, sometimes it goes ding, and your hands that's not good. Well, if you are going to get hit with this, you want to be hit in that part, not the sweet spot. You don't want to be just standing here. Now, obviously everyone knows that. If you're swinging at me, I'm not going to just stand here and let you hit me. But almost as poor of a response as this, you know, or trying to lean away, because that length is going to mean you're not going to lean, even if it hits you in the throat, whatever. That's no bueno. So what you're going to have to do is kind of two options. If you have some knowledge that this guy has that wrench, which let's face it, and if he's not going to do this with it, right? I mean, that would be ridiculous. So he's going to wind up, and when he winds up, if you're at this distance, you can come inside like this and just overhook this thing and just start pummeling him, right? And then you could take him to the ground, whatever you need to do. But that's what we're talking about here, is a way to enter, and that way you're inside the arc of this swing. Doesn't matter what foot I have forward, doesn't matter anything. All that matters is I get my hand up just in case I'm not as fast as I thought I would be, and I'm going to come in this position here.
For the sake of this conversation, inside the arc is inside my hand. That's where the tool is extending from, where the wrist break is. Anything inside my wrist is inside the arc. Outside my wrist, outside the arc.
And then from here, no matter what you do, even if it's just striking is okay. I mean, you may be able to actually overhook this here, and then that kind of stabilizes that weapon, sort of takes that weapon out of the fight, and also takes one of his weapons out of the fight, in that his arm is not able to be used to hurt you. And from there, you know, we're going to go over personal body strikes on another series, but you can deliver these strikes wherever you want here, based on whatever's comfortable and whatever works. But the key is getting inside the arc. Now, from here, I don't think I'm quite that fast. To cover this distance, I don't want to be
You don't want to move in close enough
to
get the sweet spot.
So if I'm here, maybe I move out of the way, let that pass. Now, he's probably going to try to hit you again with it, right? If he wanted to hit you once, why not swing again? And that's when you come in now. And if you can stop it up here above the elbow. That makes it harder for him to just swing completely through. If I came and blocked it here, he may still come through, may hurt my arm. Especially with an edge weapon, it may cut your arm. But what we're looking at here, let's start from the beginning. That swing comes in, I evade the initial one, and then I'm going to come in and stop it here. What do I do from here? If I'm armed, I'm probably just going to shove his shoulder there, step back, and draw my firearm. If you're not armed, get the hell out of there. But as that's coming, don't give him your hands to hit. This is not where, you know.
Yeah, no. Steel's going to beat bone every time.
No good. So make sure if that's coming, your hands are tucked in. You may parry it a little bit like that, whatever the case is, but you need to get inside the arc. Whether that happens on the forward swing or on the back swing is kind of situationally dependent. But give this stuff a try, see if it'll work for you against a bludgeon. Hello everyone, Rich Nance here with your defensive tactics technique of the week. Today we're going to be talking about edge weapon defense. when you hear the term edge weapon, most people think of a knife, and it could be this type of knife that many of us train with, which is a rubber knife. It's good for training. This is probably a lot bigger than most of the knives that you're going to end up seeing on the street. It could be, though, that you're in a kitchen on a domestic violence. By the way, kitchen is not ideal, but sometimes that happens. Someone may grab a steak knife, whatever it is, but a knife like this with a fixed blade, that's something we could face. Another likelihood is this is a trainer, but this has a clip on it. Many people, obviously I know you carry more than one of these knives with them most of the time. We have them on patrol, and this is something that we would more likely face. So probably a little more likely to face this than that.
Everybody and their brother's got a folding knife.
Exactly, and while this blade may be not as long or scary looking as that one, this can inflict some serious damage for sure.
To my understanding, it only takes about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of cut to reach an artery on your body. Any artery cut is potentially lethal. So, 4 inches is plenty.
And the problem is, Frank, as you know, it's not usually going to be one cut, because unlike the single telegraphed robotic thrust that many martial artists like to defend against, this, by the way, is a box cutter, another likely type situation. So let's say you have that box cutter. We're going to do an unrealistic attack, and I'm going to show a very unrealistic counter to that attack. Thrust that into me toward there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and block with what they call an X block. I'm going to re-grip his hand here, and I'm going to bring him over to this bar arm type position. Now from here, I can force this out of his hand. I can effect a takedown. I may be even able to strip this out of his hand, but that will not happen when the blade or whatever edge weapon you're facing is fluid. Defending against a fluid, and by that I mean an edge weapon in motion, is one of the most dangerous things you can possibly do. The reason is because the part that's going to cut you, is moving so fast that if I try to catch up with, and it ain't going to happen. Just try it. Believe me. Make yourself understand that those types of techniques. Let me show what I was going to try to do with that one on a slow. If you do something like this and end up in control and actually can disarm, it's probably unrealistic.
I attacked slow, and you weren't able to keep up with it.
What are you trying to say? If you do techniques like this and you're not able to do them against someone who's not really trying to cut you, imagine someone who's crazed and their sole purpose at that time is to stick that thing into you. I mean, do yourself a favor, see what works and what doesn't. A much better approach to an edge weapon type situation is, first of all, don't face it. And by that I mean, if you can use something like a coffee table or something like that to position between the two of you, that's not going to do much good against a firearm threat, right? But against an edge weapon, any contact distance weapon, a lot of environmental factors come into play that can really be used to your advantage. Worst case scenario, if you have to face that knife, what I strongly suggest is that you protect yourself the best you can. And here what I'm going to do, notice I'm not going to stand still and just try to spar with him, right? Some guys, even if they're real skilled, maybe I block 3 or 4 of them, but it's going to be multiple stabs or multiple slashes. So what I need to do at the earliest opportunity is take his balance. If I have his balance and he's going back on his heels, 2 things happen. That knife becomes less of a factor, and also you're making him now think about saving his own, you-know-what, rather than attacking you. So I don't know, against any kind of attack with this thing, it's going to come in from whatever angle you want. I'm going to come here. Now what I'm doing is I'm driving forward. So this isn't what's doing it. This is just momentarily to put this up here to try to prevent being cut, but I can't stay here because if I do, go ahead. So it's not a block and then a counter. What we're doing here is...
It's almost a straight.
Exactly. What we're doing here is we're just trying to separate this. Now watch my hand placement here. Forcing his head back is ideal, because what I'm going to do then is take a couple steps forward, shove him back. He may fall. That's a very high likelihood that he will. But even if he doesn't, what I'm doing is I'm taking those couple steps, shoving off, creating that separation, and then I can draw my firearm. Another thing I may do is, as I drive him back this way, I can run at a different angle. That time I ran off camera, seek cover or whatever I need to do. But that's really something you need to consider is, don't focus on trying to catch up and control the knife or the knife arm, because I'll be honest with you, if you could do this, if you could get to this position, there you go. Even if you could get to this position, that would be great in a way, unless he switched hands like that. But I just don't think it's very likely to happen. So again, give me a lower...
The bottom line is, prolonged fights with somebody's got an edge weapon, the longer it goes on, the more you lose.
It's going to end badly.
You've got to stop it, and you got to take control of it as fast as you can.
And we all know, the Tooler drill has taught us that this is not the answer. I mean,
Correct.
that's the instinctive response for us because we see deadly threat firearm. It's kind of good to have that mentality, but something has to happen to create enough distance and time for you to draw your firearm.
And I'm going to encourage our listeners, our watchers, to look at a different video specifically about the Tooler drill where we have this conversation. Here's reality. I've got a knife. I cut you. You shoot me. Let's say you shoot me right in the heart. It's a perfect shot. I have anywhere from 10 to 28 seconds left, minimum, to be able to continue to cut you. What are you going to do? Shoot me some more? You're still getting injured. You're still potentially losing your life. That's not the answer.
A tie is not acceptable.
Right. A tie is not acceptable.
So again, just as a refresher, even if it's something low, whatever it is, and right there, I might get a little cut on it. It certainly may happen. But at this point, I'm going to try to move this here and just drive him back, create distance. And now, keep in mind, even at this point, if he lunges forward toward me, this is not the answer, as you just said, to stay stationary and shoot. I mean, I'm going to be moving to cover whatever direction I can and getting rounds on range. Hopefully that will be enough. But an edge weapon is a very, very dangerous, even if it's something like a box cutter, very dangerous tool. I hate when people say, expect to get cut. You don't expect to get cut. You understand that you may be cut, and you commit to fighting through that to win the encounter. You don't go into a gunfight expecting to get shot. So that's just the wrong mentality as far as I'm concerned. Hello everyone, Rich Nance here with your Defensive Tactics Technique of the Week. Today we're going to look at techniques for when your back is against the wall. Frank, let's look at some techniques to be used when your back is against the wall, essentially some choke defenses. Now, if you just tried to choke me when I'm not against the wall, there's a lot of stuff I can do, basically just backing up.
Unless my hands are big enough to get all the way around your neck, it's easy to get out of.
Exactly, but if you drive me back and I'm against the wall here, now I got some problems because I think depending on the situation, there's no particular number of seconds, but it's not that many seconds, probably 12 seconds or so on average, and you're gonna start losing consciousness if he's,
really locked in and choking.
So what you can do, and what I would suggest if he's got both hands like this, is you have both your hands tied up, I have two free hands. Now, you're not gonna be able to concentrate as well on choking me if I'm smashing your face like this. And what technique is that? It's called put your hand in his face repeatedly as hard as you can. And you can still torque a little bit. You see how I'm getting my body behind these strikes a little bit? Mm-hmm. I can obviously knee you in the groin if I wanted to, but there's some things I can do, even if you got it really wrenched here. Another thing I could do is come up underneath. It looks very similar to a technique we did before, right? Where I'm coming down here, striking this to alleviate some of that pressure on my neck, and coming up and striking right there. So when both of his hands are tied up, and you got two free hands, hit him. Hard, fast, with knees, whatever you need to do. Pretty simple. If he grabs with only one hand, now you don't have to worry as much about the choke, but you got that to worry about too. So what can we do? Commonality of technique is important. We do the same thing we address with the badger lapel grab. You're basically going to strike down here and simultaneously strike up here underneath the chin to negate that punch. We talked about even if that punch comes, it's very likely going to hit you.
Reaching.
Exactly, and if you do, it's going to be a glancing type blow. So again, that list looks like this. He's got you there. Don't wait for that punch, especially when your head is against the wall, because if that punch does land,
Then it's
like
crush.
Exactly. I've got no cushion, nowhere for it to go. So again, here, I'm simply going to come down here, boom, strike this arm. It's not necessarily going to break the hold. I'm going to strike here, then I'm going to shove you off so I can get a better position. I'm not going to remain with my back to the wall when I got you on your heels. I'm going to move in another direction. Another situation that can happen either against the wall or even on the ground is when the guy's trying to use his forearm to kind of smash you here. Maybe he's just trying to intimidate you and trying to choke you. Maybe he's going to punch you with that hand, whatever. Again, commonality of technique. I got this hand here to kind of negate that punch, offer a distraction, and from there what I'm going to do is just push up on your elbow here, push down here, and just leverage you off. It's not a fancy control hold of any kind. It's just gross motor. It's basically you're offering this here as a lever, and I'm just going to take advantage of it by coming down here and up here just like that. What do you do from there? I would shove him away and draw the appropriate tool from my belt. That's why we carry all these heavy tools with us all the time. Right. So again, that one, slow. You're driven up here, distract to the face, come up here underneath the elbow, here at the wrist, just to break that hold, shove him off. So
it's important to note that even if you miss the wrist, this is right up against you, and whether my hands, if my arm's being forced horizontally or if it's over here and I've got a hold of you, even if you miss this, if all you do is keep that hand there and push the elbow over, I'm still at a distinct disadvantage, and you no longer have the pressure against your throat.
And at some point, that hold on me will break, and even if it doesn't, it's irrelevant.
You still have the whole arm to lever.
You have bargain position at that time where I can start raining down on you with bottom fist strikes, knees, whatever I want to do. So excellent points, good basic techniques to use when you got your back to the wall.